then a time has come, unfortunately, that the world is being run now unipolarly. But I am very sure, and you would also agree with my submission, that this unipolar world is not going to persist and continue forever. It is bound to change. And now, in near future, or at least in this decade, there is definitely an emergence of multipolar world. Our future is definitely multipolarity. You may be well aware of this situation, that there are some political leaders, some scholars, some ideologists who are talking of the clash of civilization, the possibility of clash of civilization in global future. And this is in fact a thesis promoted by Huntington, a professor of political science, probably in Birmingham University, now somewhere in English University, Huntington. He has written a book, Clash of Civilization. There are some leaders who are basing their philosophies, their struggles on future concept of clash of civilization. I, with due regards and respect, differ with this presumption. Whoever is the author of this philosophy or hypothesis, I differ with it. My view is that in future there is no clash of civilization. The future world is just based, and it would be based just on clash of economic interests. This is the global future which I can perceive and I can conceive. This is a reality. The countries which used to be ideological, they have shifted to being practical. Emotionalism has been shifted to practicalism and pragmatism. Sentimentalism has been transferred to practicalism. Ideologies have been shifted to interests, and the most significant, efficient and decisive interest which is going to decide the fate of the world and the nations and the regions, that is the economic interest and economic interest only. So in future, only those countries and nations would survive which would be stable in their economy, where economy is prospering. Those countries who are enjoying stability, prosperity, strength, development and credibility in their economic condition, only those countries are bound to survive. Only they would be free in their defense. They would be free in their political affairs and political matters. They would enjoy a respectful place in the Committee of Nations in near future. So I agree with this aspect. The same relevance and significance which economy does enjoy in a country, same is its relevance and significance which it enjoys in a Committee of Nations. So I believe that since economy is the backbone of a country, backbone of political liberty and freedom, backbone of political and systematic stability, so in the same way, we should have no doubt in our minds to say that business community, those who are actual economic players, those who are economic creators of this activity, responsible for economic growth and economic activity, and those who deal with various sectors of the national economy, they are definitely to be considered as backbone of our nation. So I agree with your proposal that whatever policy may be, any kind of policy regarding the agricultural matter or trade or commercial matter, these are the matters which, if the political matters are to be decided in a parliament, I believe the business community and chambers, this is the idea which I am giving on behalf of my party, Pakistan Awami Tehreek, is an elected parliament, is a platform to decide the constitutional and political and national matters. In the same way, to me and to my party, the chambers of commerce is